David has an extensive history in business management and ownership and is an experienced and innovative senior executive leader and entrepreneur with over 30 years in a both commercial and nonprofit sector. Welcome, David.
I want to raise the alarm level a little bit at the beginning of this. CO2 has been being released into the atmosphere faster than it has over the past 66 million years. This is a time to be alarmed. This is not a time to sit around with business as usual. We need to take some drastic extra actions here. All of these things are happening now. I love this quote by Henry Pollock. Ice just melts. Doesn't have a political stripe. The world's glaciers, you might not have known that, in Canada. A third of them are in our country. And we're seeing a more rapid temperature increase in the north where the glaciers are than the average temperature you hear people talking about of 1 degree, the global average. We're seeing 3.5 degrees in the northern parts of Canada, and that's where the ice is. But we're seeing these, the downpours, these massive storms. That's what's happening. So how's the city of Toronto or Sundridge going to build the infrastructure that can possibly hold that kind of water? So that's the big picture of what is going on outside in the world. I want to bring it down a little more to where I work every day, which is in Georgian Bay. And what we're actually seeing there is about a 0.8 degree increase in the temperatures globally. We're more than double that. Our ice cover in the Great Lakes is down by about 71%. Surface water temperatures up about 2.5 degrees Celsius, according to NOAA data. Great Lakes warming all through Lake Michigan, increasing. Wind speeds about 5% per decade. So the regional trend that we're seeing regionally in Georgian Bay, and according to the Environment Canada folks, is that we are going to continue to see these increases in extremes. So this is the real thing to take. Conditions around the Great Lakes are no longer, previous historic conditions are no longer a good basis for you to make any decisions on, because things have changed and are going to continue to change. And one of them, as David pointed out and as Julie talked about, was really looking at mapping and updating the maps to look at floodplains. So those things typically look at 100-year flood conditions, so that's the fluvial flooding, but they don't really capture the pluvial, the precipitation-based flooding. You can be up in the higher ground in a town or in a city and still be flooded out because of that increased precipitation. So these maps are being updated, and they're using satellite imagery and bathymetry. And so what we're concerned about is really looking at doing more research to understand the threat. Because it's changing, you don't even have the ability to tell engineers now what's going to happen in this particular area. So there's a lot of science still to do. Educating the community about the causes and consequences, which we're going to see more and more. Working with volunteers and other organizations, and encouraging really individuals. So it's we don't have time to wait for municipal governments to act. We don't have time to wait for federal governments or provincial governments to act. We ourselves, as consumers, we need to take these actions immediately. Global warming is not an abstract threat. It's real. It's happening right now. We are feeling its impacts. They're apparent, and we're not ready for them, so they're negative right now. But public complacency is not an abstract threat either. We have been too complacent. We are not as alarmed as we should be. We should be much more alarmed, and public complacency is actually causing a lot of this grief because we're not demanding action yet. We're not taking that stand that we really need to take as if it is a crisis and it is an immediate threat to ourselves and our families and our future families and our global family. Thank you.